Hello and welcome back. So today I'm heading off to my local garden store, Bunnings, and I'm going to get some seedlings and some seeds and work on my veggie garden. So it's early April here in Australia. It is now autumn, so the weather's starting to change, it's cooling down a bit and it is nice now and it's hot. So I'm going to get out in my veggie garden. It's quite a bit of a mess at the moment. I've got a couple little areas I'm going to work on today, and some are quite weedy and a bit of a mess. So I'm going to get rid of the weeds, put some nice new rich soil in and fertilize, and then pop some of my seeds in and seedlings, and we'll see how we go. Alright, so I've just arrived and I'm heading in to look for some cold climate veggies and some like potting mix and fertilizer and that kind of stuff. So I'm back in the car now. I've bought so many different seeds and plants, and I'm ready to go back home and get into it. Alright, so this is what we've got here. This is what we're working with. It is a bit of a mess, as you can see, and I will need to come along and take quite a bit of this out. So there's some weeds and a few old things that have been here for a while. I can see, I think it's kind of some old bits of overgrown sweet potato vines here, and there's quite a few weeds kind of going through, and some old rotten bits of celery, and down further, yeah, just grass and things. One thing that is going really well though is my leeks. So my leeks they're still small, but they're getting thicker and they're looking really good. I did buy some more leeks. I'm pretty sure they're seeds. I will plant those and see how they go. I also have, it's really only one kind of bunch of celery left that's looking really good that I'll leave, and a small rosemary plant down the end. But apart from that, I'm gonna pull everything else out, and maybe maybe one chili plant, but it's not looking too good either. So I remove everything from here, and this is my more vegetable, apart from the rosemary, it's more of my vegetable growing area. Alright, so I have cleared up the garden a bit, as you can see, that little quick time lapse. A lot of the soil is actually really fertile. Like most of it through here is like full of worms, really rich, and I've kind of just got my rake and moved everything around, and I've shuffled all this dirt around just to kind of mix it, level it. I don't really need to in some areas, but there are a couple of little spaces that are maybe a bit more just mulchy, not as broken down yet, so I'm going to put a bit of potting mix. I've got my premium potting mix here that I'm going to just pop over. You're popping it over some of these, like here it's not too bad, but down in some of these areas it gets a little bit drier and not as fertile. So as you can see, I've left in my leeks, and some of these are actually going really well. Some of these are getting thick and will be ready in before too long. You can see down there some of those are looking very good. I've also left, here is my celery. I've removed some of the, like there's a couple of little deady stalks. I'll see how I go for room, but I'm thinking I'll leave them for now. And this really sad jalapeno plant. So that's been there for probably about a year or so. Oh, longer than a year, I'd say almost 2 years now. So that probably is, it's not looking too good. I might just have to remove that. So I'll just quickly run through what I've bought. In my box here I have some rosemary, but I'm actually going to plant that upstairs close to my main kitchen. I've bought mostly a lot of seeds that I'm going to put in today, so things like carrots and some lettuce, onions. Just lay them out across here because I've got quite a few. Some more leeks, pak choy, rocket, chives, parsley, and some coriander. And hang on, there's still more. Some spring onion and some Brussels sprouts. So those are all the seeds that I've got, but I've also got a few seedlings. So as I said, the rosemary is going to go upstairs near my main kitchen. I got a few seedlings of garlic, as you can see here. It's the purple garlic variety. Oh, you can smell it. It smells really good. As you know, I love garlic in my cooking, so I'm quite excited to have garlic. I have grown it before. I think I only one plant, but I've got 8 here. I have 2 packs. What are these? Oh, I got some seedlings of leeks too. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I feel like in winter it's nice to cook leeks or like a nice potato and leek soup. One more thing. I can't remember what this is. I got so much. Oh, I got some seeds, some Brussels sprout seeds, but I also got a Brussels sprout seedling. I haven't grown Brussels sprouts before, so I don't know how these will go. I sometimes like seeds. I find are really good for either like herbs such as parsley or like lettuces, those kind of things, because you get a lot of seeds in a lot of the plant. Because you know, one plant of, well, putting 1 bulb of garlic in, for example, only gets you 1 garlic. Same as an onion. They don't grow a lot. So for things like that, seeds are really good because you get a lot of them. Brussels sprouts, yeah, I don't know. Seedlings are good. Buying the seedlings are good because they're already started growing. They'll be ripe already much quicker. And yeah, I don't really know how the Brussels sprouts will turn out, but it's an experiment, and I'll obviously keep you guys updated. But most of this stuff I have grown before, and it grows quite well here. And yeah, so I'm going to get to putting some of the potting mix on top and mixing it through, and I'll bring you guys back in after I've done that. Alright, so as you can see, I've raked into the garden just this extra potting mix just to give it a bit more, fertilizer and some more, goodness in there. As I said before, everything is really nicely, it's all nicely wet and quite rich because we've had so much rain. Like as I said, it's full of worms when I've been turning it around, but I just, kind of mixed it in, leveled everything out, and I'm gonna get to start organizing where I'm gonna be planting my things. I just want to be aware of like bigger rocks and stuff, especially with things like carrots and things that are growing underground. It can quite, disturb the shapes and how things grow. That's why I want it nicely aerated, and it's going to make the veggies grow the best and as nice as they can. Alright, so now I've laid out where I'm going to put each of my veggies. Up here I have my lettuce, and then coming along Brussels sprouts, the seeds, and then my seedling, and then I'm moving on to carrots, my onions, and of course my garlic. Then moving along, I'm leaving this celery, and then I'm going to try out my broccoli here, some leeks with my existing leeks, and then of course I have some actual leek seedlings, my existing rosemary, and then I'm going to grow my pak choy down here. Pak choy is one of those great things in like Asian stir fries and all that, so yeah, I'm gonna start opening things up, lay them out, and I might sprinkle just a little bit of fertilizer over this too, just some slow release veggie garden fertilizer, again just to give it a bit of an extra boost. So I'm going to start down here with my onion seeds and carrots and work along, and I'll probably put the seedlings in last because they get a bit messy splitting them up with your hands. And with these seeds, I've obviously just sprinkled them, but I will kind of turn the soil up a bit again so they are underground, and obviously give them a nice water. My onions again are seeds, so I'll just sprinkle these out. So some of these, such as the onions, are gonna take like a really good few, 2 to 3 months at least to actually start growing them. I'll be able to pick them, and again that's gonna be like a bit later in winter. Here in our climate, like we don't get frosts. It's not too cold, so it's all of this stuff is going to go really well. And it's the perfect time now to get into planting them. Popped my lettuce in, now my Brussels sprout. Now we're moving down to my broccoli. Yeah, I haven't always had much success with broccoli, to be honest. Most of these things I've grown well, but broccoli, well, this will be interesting to see how it goes. There's not a lot of seeds. I'm just going to sprinkle these around here. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some leek seeds around the existing leek and next to this celery here. There we go. Alright, and of course my last seeds are the pak choi. Now we're done with the seeds and I'll move on to the seedlings. So now I'm going to start with my garlic, planting them about 15 centimeters apart. I'm just going to pop them out of the containers like this. And they're really easy, you can just split them. I mean, you don't have to be too gentle, but just don't break all the roots off. But you split them into little things just like this, and then we'll start popping them in. Now you can grow garlic just from garlic cloves, really, from the supermarket. Break them up and just pop them in. They will turn into this. Oh, they smell so good, I can just smell the garlic. Garlic is quite fun to grow, it's something a bit different. Because when you pick it, you've got to dry it out, you've got to kind of hang it in the sun, and you can't just eat it straight away. Right, so you've got to space these widely enough apart because they need their own space to grow, and the garlic will grow in the bulb under the ground. You can't have them planted all up next to each other. Alright, so that is the garlic done. I'll move on with the rest of the seedlings and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, so everything's planted. I've planted all the seeds, all the seedlings, and I've put where they came with them, I put little tags in to show which each plant is. It's important because I said it's very easy to forget. Now that everything's in, I'm going to give them all a really nice water, nice soaking in. I'll see how it goes. I might add a little bit of mulch just around some of the things. And I'll just give you a really quick tour, I guess, an overview of where everything is. So starting at the end over here, we have, of course, the lettuce. It's all the seeds, so you can't see it. Some Brussels sprouts here and a Brussels sprout seedling. So here you can't see it's all the carrots. And then, of course, the garlic. And I have 8 little garlic seedlings. Moving along, I got to my existing celery. Down here, yeah, are some of the leek seeds and some broccoli. It's one of my nice healthy celery plants, and then all my leeks down here. And as I mentioned earlier, some of these are looking really good, and maybe not too long before I could start picking some of those fatter ones. Coming down, I've just kind of thrown in my new leeks. Now, it's really hard with the sun here, but they're very small, they're really hard to kind of split and plant, and I just kind of pull them apart, and they will, you know, once they start growing, stand up again and grow up properly. They're very flimsy, so don't worry about those too much, don't worry about getting those standing up perfectly. And then down here, of course, is the pak choi. So we're done. I've watered everything in really nicely, and for this time of year, I'd say I'm going to do it probably in the mornings. Early to mid-morning. I probably won't be doing it at night time. Also, it is very wet and quite rainy here, so I probably won't even need to water it that much. But just considering it's coming into the cooler times, in summer I'd probably water morning and afternoon, but now I'm going to probably just start watering in the morning if it hasn't rained. So yeah, everything's nicely in. Also in regards to fertilizing, I probably may only end up fertilizing this once more or so, but I might use some liquid fertilizer. Something like sea salt is really good just to give these an extra boost, an extra kind of growth output as time goes by. But the soil is really, really moist and fertile, so these should all grow really well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this video, and click that subscribe button if you want to come back and see some more updates in the next couple of months. Thank you for watching.